Just so you guys know, there are no spoilers until the very end of this video, and I will give you ample time to click away before then. So don't worry, no spoilers here. Thank you, enjoy. Whatever, that's fine. 3, 2, 1, and clap. So here we are, about a year and a half after the iconic E3 Keanu presentation. And as expected, most of you are disappointed. You guys got yourself so hyped up over Cyberpunk, and now look where it got you. Well, guess what? I only watched the one presentation by Keanu. I didn't watch a single other trailer, didn't ingest a single other piece of news about it, and when the game came out, I really enjoyed it. I sat down, I played almost nothing else until I was done, and I enjoyed the overall experience. However, as most of you will be willing to point out, this game is not perfect. So let's take about 15-20 minutes and review Cyberpunk 2077.
You're breathtaking!
So of course, first we have to talk about the glitches and the seemingly incomplete feeling of the game. Now, that's not to say that this game wasn't enjoyable, but there are certainly some things that should have been finished or worked on more before release. As for me, I played on the PC version. I didn't really have any major game-breaking issues, and the few times that I did have some major issue, I was able to load one of the many autosaves and was quickly able to fix the problem. As I hear, the PlayStation and Xbox versions did not work out so well. People who are able to get their refunds, I can't blame you. I do think you guys can just be patient, sit on it for a little while. The game is going to be fixed. You know, it's a big project and they're going to fix it eventually. Most of the time the glitches just ended up being kind of funny. It made for a more entertaining experience and certainly made for more entertaining highlights. I think they probably should have delayed the game again. I know it would have made some people angry, but I feel like at this point, in hindsight, obviously, probably would have been a little bit less anger than releasing the game in the state that it's in, but all in all, I had a lot of fun with the game, and I think that any of the real game-breaking glitches will be fixed soon, so give them some time. If the option is available to you, maybe buy it on PC, because the PC version is notably less glitchy. The game has a very large and beautiful city to explore. However, it is a very complex city and it's really easy to get lost on occasion. It's also a little overwhelming, the amount of missions that they throw at you right at the start. Pretty much anytime you come in range of a mission, you're getting a phone call, so for the first several hours you're playing, you're on the phone almost non-stop and it's very irritating.
Hey V, Regina Jones here.
Very quiet.
Watson?
Well,
Oh my god! Some areas seem really dense with life, while others seem kind of just filled with brain-dead NPCs. I would sprinkle more random conversations around the world just to give the world more of a live feeling. Most of the random NPCs only have 2 lines of dialogue, so when you pass the same NPCs frequently, it can become very noticeable. I would add extra lines to specific NPCs that the character is going to be passing by frequently, just so that we don't hear the same 2 lines over and over and it's not as obvious.
kiss my dead spunk!
And also sometimes there's less refined animations right in plain view of their finely crafted cutscenes, which can kind of break the immersion a little bit. For example, this burger dude. Just remove the burger dude. That seat could have been empty. You didn't need to have anybody there. Just get him out of there. So Cyberpunk has kind of adopted the Diablo or Borderlands loot system, where they have several different archetypes of weapons for each class, and then those weapons can have almost limitless variations upon them. Same thing goes for clothing as well, so there's almost a limitless amount of clothing and weapon options for you, and it kind of creates this revolving door of new gear that you're constantly leveling up along the way, so it really makes the game feel fresh throughout. However, if you don't want to keep switching your weapon and you happen to find something that you like, you can upgrade that weapon to keep it on par with all the new stuff that you're finding. Another kind of annoying thing, especially when you get into the crafting skill tree, is that you need components to craft items. However, to craft those components, you need to hold down a button for 3 seconds, and you can only do one at a time. So needless to say, when you need 60 of these items to make 30 of those items to make 10 of those items, you're going to be crafting for a while. The minimap is a little small for driving and there's no north compass, so it can be a little difficult to navigate at speed. I would allow for minimap resizing or expansion while driving so that the character has a better view of what's coming. There's a good variety of vehicles, they all feel different, it gives you a lot of variety to how you want to drive around the city. There's also fast travel if you don't want to drive. Most of my glitches involved the vehicles, however, like I said before, there's lots of autosaves, so I never really had any problem fixing the issue. There's a wide variety of consumables you can collect around the world. However, they almost always do the exact same thing. All the alcohols will do the same thing, all the food does the same thing, but none of them stack together, so before long your inventory begins to look pretty messy. Not to mention that it starts to affect your character's carry capacity after a little bit. For the consumables, I would stack them all together, reduce the number of variations, or give the different variations of consumables different stat boosts. Otherwise, it's just cluttering up my inventory, and I don't want to deal with it.
Cyberware is definitely one of my favorite features of the game. Cyberware lets you tailor the gameplay to your own preferences. No matter your playstyle, the game has cyberware to help give you some preem advantages on missions. Like running with big guns and taking all the loot, buy some heavy armor plating and increase your carry capacity. Prefer sneaking around, taking everyone out quietly? Buy yourself some silent steps and get some useful hacks. Prefer slicing and dicing enemies with a katana? Increase your stamina and health regeneration. With such a wide variety of options to choose from, this is definitely one of the crowning features of this game.
As much as I enjoyed the cyberware, it would have been nice to see a little bit more variation in its appearance. For example, if you went to a Maelstrom Ripper Doc, you could get kind of a more robotic look to your character. Or if you went to a corporate Ripper Doc, you could get more of a gold-plated, fancy-looking character, but that's just my personal preference. Story missions are often very large-scale and really entertaining. There's a great cast of characters and a lot of dialogue options to offer some varying responses for each different playthrough.
It's also got a pretty banging soundtrack, which really adds to the cinematic feel of the game.
However, the main story was a little bit short for my tastes, clocking in at only about 20 or 30 hours for most people. There's tons of side missions to grind. Often they're pretty similar, but I didn't really notice for the most part because there's enough variation between them to keep things a little fresh. The skill tree and perks were kind of uninspired in my opinion. Every once in a while there would be something to unlock, like an ability or a perk. However, for the most part it seemed to just offer percentage boosts to certain skills depending on what you're leveling up. Despite sneaking being a big part of the game, they rarely force you to do it. There's almost always different options for how you can complete your missions. For example, there's a mission where you need to break into a concert. You have the option of speaking to the guard, stealing tickets from someone in the crowd, or finding a back way to sneak in.
Braindances are probably one of the most interesting and unique investigation experiences that I've ever played. It's a really fascinating feature that seemed slightly underutilized. The best way to explain it is that it allows the player to explore a recorded memory in greater detail than what someone would usually experience from a first-person perspective. So using advanced technology, you're able to see heat signatures, hear normally inaudible sounds, and scan objects in the room for more details on them. It also allows you to play back the memory as many times as you want, from whatever angle you want, within reason. I really enjoyed the experience of diving into someone's memory and investigating all the little details to solve a mystery. I think it was used just the right amount in the story, but it would have been nice to see it used in some other ways. I think it would have been really nice to see that turned into maybe a chain of side quests where you become kind of a braindance private investigator, or maybe just for lore and backstory collection, or even just for entertainment. It'd be nice to see the difficulty increase on these over time as well. The brain dances in the story mission seem to highlight the relevant sections whether you've noticed the clue or not, and it kind of takes a little bit of the detective work out of such an interesting feature.
In my opinion, the menus really need some work. The new text should go to the top. That's standard for all phone companies. It's really difficult to navigate the shards menu, especially since all of the most important shards are way at the bottom and you have to scroll through dozens or hundreds of shards before you can get to the important ones. The missions journal itself is actually very confusing. You have like one mission chain that splits off into sometimes up to 17 different gigs. So it's not very organized, and I wish that they would streamline it a little bit. Now we're getting into the ending here. I'm not going to spoil any specifics. However, I will be kind of spoiling the structure of the ending and my feelings about it. As far as I know, the game has about 6 different endings, which is a really good thing because games with multiple endings encourage multiple playthroughs. However, the endings need to be appealing to encourage players to come back and play again. I finished my first playthrough blind. I didn't look anything up, I just played through how it felt naturally. Afterwards, I looked it up and I apparently did get one of the good endings despite being very much a letdown. The second time I played through, I did look up which was the true good ending, and I did get a slight sense of satisfaction from that one, but it was still pretty bittersweet. Now, I don't need all my stories to end with sunshine and flowers and rainbows, but there at least needs to be a sense of accomplishment or a sense of finality to give the player some closure. The only thing I can think is maybe add some DLC post-game to add some better closure? So I don't know, I didn't really feel the need to go back and play any of the other endings. I did the 2 good endings, and then I was done. Alright everybody, if you want to hear my random spoiler comments about the game, feel free to stay tuned. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, weekend, whatever it happens to be for you. I will catch you on the next video or stream. Feel free to check out my Twitch. Feel free to check out my links down below for Twitter, Discord, Twitch, all that. Have yourself a wonderful night, and we'll see you on the next video. Now, this is your last chance, everybody. If you don't want spoilers, you need to dip now. This is your chance. This is the last chance. I'm not going to give you any more warnings. This is a spoiler time. Okay. Why the hell can you not order a Jackie Wells or a Johnny Silverhand at the Afterlife? How come the moment you get into the game world, the real game world where you can actually start to explore, your car gets trashed by Delamain for a mission, so you have to walk everywhere or fast transport? And yeah, you can get a vehicle pretty early on, but I didn't know that. They build up Adam Smasher to be this big baddie, but he gets almost no screen time and even less backstory? You expect me to believe that Johnny Silverhand was using the same slang 50 years ago that we're using today?
Swing by the Atlantis on the way. Got some chooms there.
Come on, Choom, get real.
Who are these random children's parents? Why do they let them wander out in the streets? They're like 8 to 10 years old, and they're just casually walking past like 4 sex shops, 2 crime scenes, and a particularly sketchy looking homeless man wearing doctor scrubs yelling at people about aliens.
The techno-necromancers of Alpha Centauri!
Yo, how are they gonna give you the best friend in the whole goddamn world and then kill him off? I can't believe they played my man Jackie like that. Oh god. My boy, Jackie, no. Less of a complaint, but I love how they randomize the dancers in strip clubs, so it could be just literally anybody as you're walking by. And oh my god, when I saw Grandpa Schlipschlap, whew, I died.
Look, I don't like it when someone stares at me.
I know you guys need to fix the game, but can you leave this part in, please? Pretty please? Do you mean to tell me that you put my man Jack Black in the game, you gave him 4 lines, and then you kill him off? Excuse me? And there's no way to save him? This is the biggest offense to the gaming community that I have ever witnessed.
That's all I got. I'm sure there's more, but I'm trying to keep this short. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for watching. Make sure you check out my links down below. Make sure you check out this video here, whatever it is. I have no idea. Make sure you check out that video there. Don't know what that is either. Have yourselves a great night. I gotta go. I'm running out of light. Peace out.